Introduce Will Levis, QB, University of Kentucky. Will, how we doing, man?
Doing well. It's been a good summer, ramping up right now for camp, and excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So talk a little bit about that. It's summer right now. You guys are coming off of a great 10-3 season this past year. What has been the mindset this summer about building on that, both personally and as a team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the team goal for us for sure is to go and to win the SEC championship. I mean, we break it down on Atlanta before and after every workout. I think that's a big and important goal for us to have. And all the little things that fall in line with that goal on an individual level have been really cool to see everyone striving for as well, whether it's getting in the extra work and just coming into workouts with a good attitude and getting after it. I mean, we lift and run on the weekdays and do our own things on the weekends. And also with this summer, this offseason, the NCAA has allowed us to have more time with the coaches on the field to do like individual drills and walkthroughs and all that. So I feel like we're in a really, really good spot, and we're going into summer camp with a much higher understanding and cohesiveness in the offensive unit, at least, than we were last year, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, that's great, man. Now we had a chance to talk to Tavion Robinson, your new receiver from Virginia Tech. Talk about transfers in general and how you guys are able to bring those guys into the loop.
Yeah, I mean, I was a product of it last year, and I know how difficult it can be changing schools, having to learn 100+ new names and faces. So for me, at least, I felt like I was a really good resource for those guys because I'd been through it. And it's tough. It's tough for them, but I mean, when you're a dog, when you're a good player, it's easy to assimilate yourself, because he's definitely found a spot on our team and in our offense. And I'm excited to see what he can do for us. He's a beast, and we've been able to bring in a couple other guys as well from other schools that will do big things for us. But then I think for Kentucky as well, I think that with the craziness of the transfer portal and the ability to have kids come in and play right away, we are a very appealing school to any of these prospects because of the type of offense that we run and the type of coaches that we have and the type of players and just community that we have. But just coming back to that first point, I mean, last year we ran essentially the Rams offense with Coach Cohen, and this year we're running a similar kind of variation from the Shanahan tree, and not many college offenses do that, so to like have the exposure to those types of concepts, terminology, and just offense in general is something that I think every transfer could benefit from.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I personally believe you got one of the best head coaches in college football in Mark Stoops. I was fortunate enough to play for his brother Bob at Oklahoma, and that Stoops name is a big name, obviously, across the country. Talk a little bit about your new head coach, the bond that you guys have created over the last season, and what that looks like going into this season. He's obviously one of the best out there. Tell us a little bit about what he's like behind the scenes.
I mean, he's great. He's I mean, what I love about Coach Stoops is that he gives you the same respect that you give him. And I think that that's kind of a mentality that he has with this team. Like, he treats us like men, but only if we treat him like as a man and as the man in the respect that he deserves. And I think that's a very common message across the board. And when Coach Stoops talks, everyone listens, obviously. And for me too, like it's been great to develop a natural relationship with him, because that's something with a coach that I've never really done before. And that's been my own fault, just kind of seeing that coach and player relationship to be exactly that and be very kind of like straightforward. But I kind of realized that if I wanted to have and be as connected with my coaches as I want to be, like, I kind of have to open up to them on a more personal level and be willing to go and talk to them about little things, whether it's football or not. And once I kind of made that decision and was able to actually start having those candid conversations with my coaches here, I just saw my relationships with them to grow so much more. And yeah, Stoops is great. One thing that I can say about him that I thought was awesome, that I can tell he just trusts me so much. And just to have that trust as a quarterback means the world to me. He brought me in when we were interviewing coaches to be our new offensive coordinator. I was in the interviews. I was listening in on those interviews with those coaches. So for him to actually trust my judgment like that shows just how much he cares for me. And I respect the man, and I love him a whole bunch.
Man, that's big time. That's big time. So We talked a little bit about you guys coming off a 10-3 season and having a great summer up until this point. Talk to the Kentucky fans. What are they going to see, though, out of Will Levis this fall that builds on top of last year's campaign?
Yeah, I think last year it was really my first time playing quarterback at this level. And it really took a few games for me to find that comfort level that gave me the confidence to go into every game, knowing that I can tear apart any defense. And it took a few games for me to truly kind of have that and have that experience for me to get in that comfort zone. And so I think that that's only going to rise. That comfort and that confidence is only going to rise with the more reps that I get. On top of that, specifically, wasn't pleased with the interceptions I threw last year. I want to make sure that I limit those numbers, but that's just not going to happen naturally. I mean, you need to actually have a plan with how that's going to lower. And for me, it's just being quieter with my feet, marrying my upper body mechanics with my lower body mechanics. I know I have the arm and the athleticism to make every throw, but with being more consistent with that, I know that I can just be more accurate. And then on top of that, just making better decisions, not taking shots down the field when we don't need to, coming down and taking the check downs, even though they're not fancy. Sometimes it's the best option.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, switching gears here a little bit. It's been publicized, maybe not widely, but you got some interesting eating habits, talking about maybe bananas with the peel on it, mayo in your coffee. Talk a little bit about some of those things and maybe some other ones that the fans out there don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who doesn't know at this point, but it was mostly just like some fun I was having on social media. Like the first one, it was like I was eating like a banana with a peel on it, and it was all like brown and ripe, and I ate just like the whole thing, peel and all, and people got a kick out of that. And then the next one was like I put like mayonnaise in my coffee and like had a sip of it, and both of them, I mean, I just did those just kind of because I thought it was pretty funny and I thought it would make other people laugh, and obviously it got picked up and recognized by some people, so that was pretty cool. But no, I mean, I don't really have anything else on my mind. I mean, I'm a big food guy. What just came up actually is we were talking about on the 4th when the Nathan's hot dog eating contest came up. We were all trying to decide who could eat the most on the team, and I feel like I can run away with that one. So I think that'd be a funny food thing that maybe we can try as a team someday.
You think you can out eat some of your big O linemen, some of those defensive guys?
We're
talking dog, we're talking bun and all.
I took the O line out to dinner every Sunday this past season, and I wasn't very impressed. So I was throwing down food at the same rate as anybody else on the team.
We'll have to definitely get that going at some point and get that out there. But I agree with you, man. Some of the coolest parts about the opportunity to play college football are for sure Saturday nights, Saturdays where you're running out on the field, right? But it's also just the little things that get caught up in the media. It's a neat part of life. So speaking of food, for all the listeners out there, tell us a little bit about Lexington. What are some of your favorite places to go eat in Lexington?
This was very special for me because throughout my whole time at Penn State, I'm sure that anyone who knows Penn State would agree with me, not the best food town, not a lot of good restaurants. I mean, there's a couple here and there, but like for the amount of people and the amount of students are there, like they got to step up their game over there in Pennsylvania. So when I got to Kentucky, I was pleasantly surprised with the quality of the restaurants out here. There's some awesome steakhouses. I did my deal to bring the O-line out every Sunday to Malone Steakhouse by Bluegrass Hospitality Group. So shout out to them and thank you for them to get that settled for us. But then there's a bunch of other restaurants, Carson's being one of them. That's one that I went to with my family that I always go back to every so often. Ruby's is another steakhouse that we love here. And really any like fast food you can think of too. It's like insane. I don't know what it is about Lexington, but on Nicholasville, I guess you can think of anything that you want and just go find it. But the quality foods here is great. I love my food, and been happy with Lexington.
Love it. I love the little dig at Penn State. We got Christian Hackenberg on our team. I know he would have loved to talk to you, but he's definitely going to have something to rebuttal about that on social media. So just get ready for that one. Last question here. We'll wrap up with this. Talk about the upcoming season a little bit. On it a little bit. talk about what you guys would like to accomplish, what you want to see out of your teammates, and you being an older guy and as a leader, how do you like to leave your jersey better than you found it by the time your time's done there at Kentucky?
I think just consistency. I think I want there to be more confidence across the board in whatever we have on our hands offensively. Like, I don't want there to be any doubt whatsoever of whoever we play that we aren't putting the ball in the end zone every single drive. And I think just the more we work on it and the more we build that chemistry and the more consistent we get, we can start doing things with our eyes closed. And that's when we get that true feeling of nobody can mess with us. And we've been working our tails off, and we still need to get to that point. But I think that with fall camp, we could very well get our offense in a pretty dangerous spot. And I want to leave my jersey here is to be known as the best quarterback that ever played here. I mean, I think that's the only way I can think about it. I want to leave a legacy for the fans here. I want to give them something to cheer about and be proud about this season, because it's probably gonna be my last. And I'm not going to take the time that I've had here and in college football for granted.
Man, that's awesome. Well, best of luck in the pursuit of that, Will. Thanks for joining us today. Look forward to following you this fall, and all the best to you and your team. Can't wait to watch, man. Thanks for joining us.